Arena?
The shoemaker.
Close. Anybody remember it? Todd.
The rich man and the shoemaker.
The rich man and the shoemaker. Okay, so Mrs. Kimpler read it twice, and then you discussed your ideas about a question. So we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're going to add to it. So that's why you have on your clipboard, you don't have to look at it, I'm going to show you on my clipboard, is you have a page called Building Your Answers. So this is new. We didn't do this last week. You're going to do that this week. Also what's new is I have a chart paper that I'm going to record some of your answers on. So sometimes when you do lessons, you start off doing something and then you build on it. And that's what we're doing today. We are writing our answers down in the chart paper, and then you'll do something even more next week. Okay? So the lesson is called Shared Inquiry. Does anybody remember what Mrs. Kimpler said shared inquiry means? Or anybody want to take a guess? Arena. Very good. Okay, so we are going to share something. Kevin?
Share ideas.
We're going to share ideas. Okay, so what it is it's a way of learning and understanding about a story together. Because when you have more than one person, you can build all of these different ideas. We're also going to work on a focus question. Okay, and I wrote our focus question right up here on my chart paper, so in case you forget it, it's on the board. And a focus question is one question that can be answered many times. And it can have different answers that you can find in the story. There's no one right or wrong answer. There can be several different answers, and we're going to find the evidence in our story. And that's another thing we're going to work on today, is finding evidence of our answers in our story. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm just going to do is read the story. That's it. You just get to sit back, listen to the story, follow along. That's all you're doing. The second time I read, you're going to take your pencil or your highlighter if you brought it. You're going to write down any questions you might have. You might underline something. As long as it answers our focus question, which I will explain, you can write anything down on this paper. So I made a copy of the story, which you have right in front of you, called Nail Soup. I made it bigger for everybody because we're going to write on it. Last time you just got the book, and we don't want to write on the books because Mrs. Kimpler wants to use them next year. So go ahead and follow along as I read. Nail Soup. A soldier going home after serving in the army was caught by nightfall far from the village. A faint light flickered in a hut by the roadside, and the soldier went to the door and knocked. An old woman opened it for him and eyed him suspiciously. I'm a penniless soldier, Granny. Would you give me something to eat and let me spend the night here? I will, soldier, but I can't give you any food, for there is none in my humble hut, said the mean old woman. So the next page is just a picture that goes with the story showing the old man the soldier knocking on the old woman's door and her peering out suspiciously. Don't worry, Granny, for I hope you'll let me cook my favorite nail soup for myself, said the soldier, whose nose detected the savory smell of the food recently eaten by the old woman. Give me a pot, an iron nail, and some water, Granny, please, said the soldier, throwing some wood on the fire. The woman bustled about the kitchen, eager to see what this cheapest of all soups would be like. The soldier dropped the nail into the pot, poured some water over it, and put it on the fire. When the water was hot, he asked for some salt. The old woman handed it to him and looked in the pot as he dropped salt into it. As the water started boiling, the soldier asked for some flour, and the old woman gave it to him. He made a thick soup, then asked for an egg. The woman gave him that too, eager to see the nail soup. The soldier broke the egg into the pot and mixed it with the flour and water. Now he needed some cooking fat and got it. He kept stirring the hot, rich soup on the stove, the old woman never moving from it. And when he judged it ready to be eaten, he removed it from the fire, took the iron nail out of the fat, and and ate his favorite nail soup under the angry eyes of the miserly old woman. So what can you tell me about the story, or what do you think about the story? Did you find it interesting? Was it sad? Was it scary? Just give me your opinion on what you think of the story. Arena.
My opinion is that it was good.
Okay.
Interesting because the old woman was first didn't trust the man,
Mm-hmm.
and then she started to trust him, and then like it was then became angry.
Okay, who would like to add to that? Please don't do that. Anybody want to add their opinion? Yasmin.
Why does he put meal in the soup?
Okay, can anybody answer that? Kevin.
Because that is news.
Okay, anybody have another idea? Todd?
It might have like stuff on it.
You mean have stuff on the nail that makes it good? Okay, Paul.
Maybe help it cook.
You mean the nail makes it cook?
No, it helps it.
Okay, it helps it cook. Okay. Anybody that hasn't really given an answer? Brooklyn.
It might like take it like it might like it might.
It's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
It might.
That's okay. Why don't I go to somebody else and we'll come back? Okay. Alyssa. Maybe the nail makes it taste better. Okay, and we'll take one more. Naya Rose.
Maybe it like makes it like get all mixed up. Makes it like all the
Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce what our focus question is. And then when I read it a second time, that's what you want to think about as you write down notes. So the focus question, like I said, I wrote it up here, and this is what we're going to be trying to answer. According to the story, who is more dishonest, the soldier or the old woman? Who can tell me what dishonest means? Kevin, what does dishonest mean? Not quite a bigger person. Ender.
Not honest.
It means you're just not honest. So we know that both of the characters are liars, but we're going to try and figure out who is the bigger liar. Now, as I read it a second time, Ender, please do not do that. If you come across any vocabulary word that you're unfamiliar with, I wrote it on a chart paper, and I'll also go over it a little bit. But I want you guys to be able to quickly look up here if you have any questions about any of the vocabulary, because we want to make sure that you understand what's going on in the story. So now when I reread it, I'm going to stop after every paragraph, and we're going to see if there's any evidence in our story that makes you answer the question, who is the more dishonest character, the old woman or the soldier? Okay, yes, Paul?
If we look on the last two, there's the middle.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so please take out your pencils, and we're going to go through it a second time. Underline any word or phrase. You can write quick notes if you have any questions. And we're trying to find parts of the story that answer the question, who is the bigger liar? The old woman or the soldier? Okay, Kevin? If you want to use your highlighter because you brought it, that's fine too. All right, so I'm going to start with the first paragraph. Also to help, as you've seen, I've numbered the paragraphs, because when we go back and cite our evidence, you're going to want to say this is from paragraph 1 or paragraph 2. So I made it a little easier to find the paragraphs. All right, paragraph number 1. A soldier going home after serving in the army was caught by nightfall far from the village. A faint light flickered in a hut by the roadside, and the soldier went to the door and knocked. An old woman opened it for him and eyed him suspiciously. So is there anything in that first paragraph that tells you that one of the characters might be a bigger liar? Arena, what did you see?
The old
did you underline suspiciously? Okay. So what does suspiciously mean? Or it's just being suspicious? Summer, can you read it? Can you read what suspicious means for us right here? Can you see that? You want to come a little closer for me, please? So she's going to tell us what suspicious means. Right here.
Something is wrong or that someone can't be trusted.
Good, trusted. Okay, thank you, Summer. All right, you guys, I need you to sit up, please. We should be on our bottoms. Thank you. All right, so who is suspicious, the old woman or the soldier? Todd? The old woman. Okay, so let's move on to the next paragraph. I'm a penniless soldier, Granny. Would you give me something to eat and let me spend the night here? Is there anything in that paragraph that might tell us who's more dishonest?
No.
Paul, what do you think?
I think he might be lying if he was penniless.
So you think that he's lying, that he's penniless. What does penniless mean?
Like no money.
Like you have no money. Okay, so Paul thinks that maybe the soldier is lying about not having any money. Okay. Paragraph 3. I will, soldier, but I can't give you food, for there is none in my humble hut, said the mean old woman. So what are some words here that you see, Naya Rose?
Humble.
Humble, okay. What does humble mean? Anybody want to tell me what humble means? Vince, why don't you read for us what humble means, number 5.
Modest, not proud.
Okay, modest or not proud. All right, Arena.
The old lady was lying about having no food.
Okay. Okay, anybody have any other thoughts? Alyssa.
I think she's lying because when she came in, she gave him all she had. She had food.
Okay, so let's take a look again at the paragraph. So we're on paragraph 3. Other than the word humble that Naya Rose pointed out, is there any other words on this paragraph that might make us think that one of the characters is more dishonest? Kevin. Mean, okay? Any other words before we move on? Arena? Okay, so let's move on. So skip the paragraph, or skip the page with the picture, and let's go to paragraph 4. Don't worry, Granny, for I hope you'll let me cook my favorite nail soup for myself, said the soldier, whose nose detected the savory smell of the food recently eaten by the old woman. Is there anything in that paragraph? Max? Detected, okay. Any others? Yasmin? Recently, okay. Paul?
The old woman just takes some food.
Okay, so where does it say that? Okay, so if you look at the bottom of paragraph 4, it says that the food was recently eaten by the old woman. So she said she didn't have food, but he can smell food. All right, let's move on to the next paragraph. Give me a pot, an iron nail, and some water, Granny, please, said the soldier, throwing some wood on the fire. Is there anything there that we can underline?
No.
No, probably not. All right, let's move on. Now, paragraph 6 is the longest paragraph, and it takes 2 pages, so I'm going to stop at the end of the first page. The old woman bustled about the kitchen, eager to see what his cheapest of all soups would be like. The soldier dropped the nail into the pot, poured some water over it, and put it on the fire. When the water was hot, he asked for... What did he ask for?
Salt.
Some salt. The old woman handed it to him and looked in the pot as he dropped salt into it. As the water started boiling, the soldier asked for some flour, and the old woman gave it to him. He made a thick soup, then asked for an egg. The woman gave him that too, eager to see the nail soup. Okay? So other than the nail, he asked for what items? Vince.
Flour.
Okay? Flour, egg, what else? Max. Flour, egg, one more thing. Kevin. A pot to put it in, okay, and egg. Next paragraph. The soldier broke the egg into the pot and mixed it with the flour and water. Now he needed some cooking fat and got it. He kept stirring the hot, rich soup on the stove, the old woman never moving from it, and when he judged it ready to be eaten, he removed it from the fire, took the iron nail out of the fat, and ate his favorite nail soup under the angry eyes of the miserly old woman. What does miserly mean, Arena?
That the one that is mad and hurt.
Okay, Yasmin. It's stingy. Does anybody know what stingy means? Arena?
Stingy means relating to the mad.
So we're looking at miserly down here. It means a stingy person who hoards money. That just means that they may have the money, but they don't want to give you any. Okay? So is there anything that we can see from this last part of our story that makes one of the characters more dishonest? Kevin? Miserly. Okay, anything else? Paul? Say it a little louder for me, please. That's okay. Victoria?
He didn't buy the old woman.
We're on the last page, Victoria. That's okay. Arena? We're going to take two more people. Say angry. So she has angry eyes. Okay. All right, I'm going to take one more person. Ender, is there anything you see in that last paragraph that tells us one of the other characters is more dishonest? Is there anything in there? Okay. All right. So now what I want you to do is look at your clipboard, and you have a page that says building your answers. We're going to jot down just really quick who you think is more dishonest and why. Now when we want to answer the question why, we want to look back into our story and find our evidence. So it says, the focus question, so it's right in front of you, according to the story, who is more dishonest, the soldier or the old woman? So choose one of those characters and then give me a reason why. And as you're working, I'm going to kind of come around and help you find your evidence. Okay, so pick a character, soldier or old woman, who you think is more dishonest. Write it down and then tell me why. So Ender, who do you think is more dishonest? Which character? Okay, so write that down, and then where in the story did you come up with that? Like, what part of the story told you that? Okay. So let's have your story in front of you. So Yasmin, what about you? Who do you think is more dishonest, the old woman or the soldier? Okay, so write that down. So get your paper out and get your story. And get your story in front of you. And find somewhere in our story that makes you think that. Okay, Max, what do you think? The old woman or the soldier? Okay, so Yasmin, can you tell me why? Ender and Alyssa, I need you to sit up, please. On your body. So who do you think? Old woman or soldier? Where's your paper? Okay, is there any other reason that you can write down for me? So choose one, write it down. So who do you think is more dishonest? What are we doing over here? Okay, so yeah, so tell me why. Good. Let me see, Paul. Okay, and is there any other parts of the story that could tell us that? So who'd you pick? Okay, can you be more specific? In the story, where did she lie? Andrew, did you find a place? Okay. She said that she... Okay, okay. The old woman because... Okay, good. All right, how are we doing over here? The old woman is more dishonest. So why is she more dishonest than the soldier? So what did she do in the story that made you think that? Okay, well, oh, I see what you're saying on that one. Okay, 1 second. Okay. She has no food. Okay. Okay, Max, did you figure out who you picked? Who? Okay, why? Andrew, do you have a reason down? So why did you choose this person? There has to be a reason why you chose her. That's what we want to write down. So you're saying that the old woman is more dishonest than the soldier, but why? Okay. So we're just going to give you about 30 more seconds. Try and write down a reason why. So who's more dishonest? Do you think it's the old woman or do you think it's the soldier? Okay, so write that down and tell me why. Okay, so why do you think she's more dishonest? What does she do in the story that tells you that? Because she, let me see. Okay. So if you can't remember, let's look back at your story. And is there anything in here that tells you that she's more dishonest? What does she do or say? Okay, so go ahead and write that down for me, please. And she told so she had no food.
Everybody's copying.
It's okay. It's okay if everybody has similar ideas. That's okay. All right, what do you think? You said soldier, but why?
Wait,
That's okay. Don't worry about that right now. Why is the old woman more dishonest? Because she what? Don't worry about that. Okay, what did she lie about? What do you mean the soup? Okay, so now we're going to share our ideas, and I'm going to write them on our chart paper under soldier or old woman. Anybody want to share first their answers? Paul, thank you for volunteering. So who do you think is more dishonest, the soldier or the old woman?
The old woman.
And why did you say that? So you're saying that she said she didn't have food, but the soldier could smell some. And then I'm going to put Paul's first initial, because that tells me that Paul came up with that idea. Did anybody come up with a similar reason? Okay, so Arena, anybody else? Yasmin, Kevin, Victoria, Todd? Okay, it's okay to come up with that idea. Did anybody have a different idea? Victoria?
The woman, because she is mean to the soldier.
Okay, so she is mean to the soldier. And where in the story does it tell us she's mean? Who can find that in our story? That's called finding our evidence. Where in our story does it say she's mean? Can anybody find that for me, please? You see it, Max? Where? What paragraph is that?
3.
So paragraph, that's my little sign for paragraph 3, tells us that she is mean. Okay? Who told me that? Is that Arena? No, that's Victoria. So I want to make sure I'm writing our initials down. Okay? Did anybody say that they thought the soldier was more dishonest? Arena, did you put the soldier? Okay, hold on. Arena is talking, so if you're talking, please stop and listen. Okay, go ahead.
I think of one Bible for me, but I just want to
Okay, so you put down old woman, but you want to say about the soldier? Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
the soldier was honest because he's far away from the village, but he was, and he said that he had no money.
Okay. So he said that he was, what word did he use? Anybody remember that word he used?
No.
Hold on, Kevin. Hold on, Yasmin. No. What word did he use to describe having no money, Todd?
Penniless.
So he said that he is penniless. Do we know if he's really penniless? No, there's really no way of telling, but he could be lying. Okay, Max, what did you come up with? Soldier or old woman? You take your pencil out of your mouth.
Woman.
Who did you put down?
Can you tell me all this on the last?
Why did you say the soldier? What did he do or say that made you think he was more dishonest?
Now you're going to change. I want you to change.
Anybody want to add to anything that we've written? Anybody have anything different? Any other information that we're missing? Think about what we underlined. Let's go back to our story and let's look at the words that we underlined and see if we can't come up with other reasoning. Paul, anything that the characters said or maybe did? So the old woman is miserly. And we know from our vocabulary word that it is a person who hoards or keeps their money. Arena.
Suspicious.
Okay, who's suspicious? Or
The
who?
old woman.
Okay, so she, what does it say in the story?
It says, an old woman opened it for him, and I him suspicious.
So the old woman eyed the soldier suspiciously. Okay? Nia Rose, what character did you choose? Okay. Did you come up with any other reasoning than what we have on the board? What did you say?
I think the old woman is more
Dishonest or bigger liar. Okay. And why?
because in the story, the woman
You mean this word that we just wrote down, suspiciously? That's okay. That's okay. Okay, my question to you is think about the soup. What is the soup called, Vince? Okay. Did the soldier eat the nail?
No.
No. Okay. So did he really make nail soup?
No.
No. What did he make? What did he put in his soup? Who remembers?
Vinegar.
Other than nails. Arena.
Flour.
Flour.
Egg and water.
Egg, water. Anybody remember anything else, Todd? Salt and fat. So did he make soup out of just nails?
No.
No. He made soup out of what?
Egg. Flour.
Other food, okay? So we could say that the soldier pretended to make nail soup. Because what did he do to the nail at the end? He took it out, and he didn't actually eat it. Paul? Okay, what is that? I'm sorry, say it again, Paul. Okay, so there's other stories similar to this. All right, so now what I want you to do is let's take a look at our paper, and we're going to look at the bottom part of our paper.
Good Good morning again. We are going to remain on a rainy day schedule because we are pretty much for sure going to have rain. So we are going to remain on a rainy day schedule for lunches today. Thank you so much. Stay dry.
Okay, let's move back real quick. We're almost done, just a couple more minutes. Did anybody change their mind from what they originally thought because of what we wrote up here? Did anybody maybe think the soldier, Nia Rose, and switch to the old woman? Or did somebody think, well, I thought the old woman was a liar because she was suspicious, but when I heard somebody say that she was mean, I changed my mind. Does anybody want to give a different idea of what they originally thought? Nia Rose. Let me get out of the way first.
Paul's idea was
What was the change from?
I told her doesn't really make too much sense to me.
Okay. And what is good about all of the things that we put up here is we got it straight from the story. Okay? Now, when I thought about the story, I went through and I counted how many times the woman lied, and then I counted how many times the soldier lied. So she lied about not having food, but he lied about maybe being penniless. She lied about not having food, but then he asked for all of these different ingredients, and every time he asked for an ingredient, what did the old woman do?
She had it.
She had it. So I kind of went back and forth. At first I thought maybe the soldier was dishonest because maybe he started the first lie by saying he was penniless. But then she lied a lot more because she kept saying she had no food, and then, oh, she had salt, and she had water, and she had cooking fat. So my opinion went back and forth, and that's okay. It's okay to change our mind. Okay? So I want everyone to just look at their paper, and I want them to write another piece of evidence from our story that makes us think one of the characters is more dishonest. So give me something different than what you already wrote. So if you wrote that she lied because she didn't have food, write something different down. And you can write one of these ideas. It's okay. It's not really copying. This is why we share ideas. Yes, and sit down for me, please. Okay. Sit down for me. I want to read your answer real quick. So an old woman lied because okay. So give me another idea. Other than just lying about the food, what else? Yeah. Yeah. So give me another reasoning on this last line, if you can think of one. Or use what we have on our board. So other than lying about no more food, what else makes her... Very good. Okay. Hurry up, please, Andrew. So try and give me another reasoning on that next line. That's okay. If you can't think of it, you can look back in the story, or you can look at our chart paper. And it's okay if we think that what we originally thought. We don't have to change our mind. ACTUALLY. Okay, so what else did she maybe lie about? What do you think? What else did she lie about? Because, what does it say?
It's a page.
Because she is, mean.
It's a page.
Okay, I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds. If you can't think of anything, it's okay.
It's a page on it. What page is this? It had
You don't have to worry about that.
no page.
Oh, that is page... Oh, that got cut off, didn't it? Yeah, I think that's page 10. That's why I numbered the paragraphs, because there's only 3 pages, so I thought it'd be easier to number them for you. So you think she lied more. So, okay, so is there any other reasoning that makes him a bigger liar? So if we were to take a look at just our chart, who do we think is the bigger liar? The old woman or the soldier?
Old woman.
Why? Who can tell me why they think that, Victoria? Okay, anybody else think that maybe we think the old woman more than the soldier? Kevin?
Because he lied more than
Maybe she lied more. Okay, Nia Rose?
because looking at the chart,
Mm-hmm.
the the soldier has less ideas than the woman.
And that's okay. So as a group, we came up with more ideas about the older woman, or the old woman, than the soldier. Good. Okay. We're going to go ahead and finish up, so finish what you're writing. The next time that we meet and do this type of lesson, we're going to go over how important it is to listen to your classmates when they're giving an idea. See if we agree, do we disagree, and then maybe share our ideas. So go ahead and finish up your sentence for me. Then take all of your work, including your clipboard and pencil, and you may go back to your seat. Okay, so do you still agree that the old woman is more honest, more dishonest? Okay, then you're fine. This is if we changed our answer. So you still agree that it's the old woman, so you're fine. Good. One more time. Okay, and that's good too. Yes. What do you mean? Did you change your mind? Did you switch to the soldier? Then you don't have to worry about that. It's okay. All right. Yes. Okay, sure. Okay. So, other than her being mean, was there anything else that you thought of why she was just more dishonest? Anything that we wrote on the board? Okay, so then you can write that in this part right there. You just say she lied. In just a minute, thank you. Thank you. We have to wait till lunch, it's just 5 more minutes. Okay. Alright, so did you want to add anything? Yes. I'm gonna collect it. Yeah, it does.
Okay,
you don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, go ahead and go back to your seat. Matt, take all your stuff back. So these are for you to keep. You don't have to. Well, actually, you know, I might collect the paper.
Okay.
That would probably make more sense, wouldn't it?
That was